Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of American Grit with myself, Tim Jensen. We've got a great program for you today as we continue to focus on all things veteran mental health and physical wellness. And what better person to bring in for this conversation than a big hulking hero of sorts. His name is Travis Wilson. You may know him as a business entrepreneur. He runs several brands that he has created. We're going to be talking at great lengths about those today, as well as his military experience, being a veteran of the global war on terrorism and member of the Special Forces community. I'd like to welcome to the show our dear friend, Travis Wilson. Hello, my friend. How are you?
That's a great intro. I'm great, man. Where's the applause? That was awesome.
Yeah, man, it's good to see you.
Good to see you as always.
Yeah, the last time we hung out together, we went and saw Dave Chappelle.
We did.
Remember? Two times.
Yeah.
Two times. That was a hell of an experience.
Yeah, old Dave Chappelle. Gotta love that guy. Yeah.
He was the after hour or after show moments were a little less than desirable.
Yeah. Yeah.
But fun nonetheless.
It was, yeah. Dave's great, but yeah.
So, brother, you've been around for some time. Creating some content, creating businesses. Being involved in the veteran community.
Yeah.
We featured you a while back on an episode.
Yeah.
About Alpha Elite Warrior and your physical fitness
And a little modeling.
Yeah, and some modeling.
Yeah, you guys threw me in a schmedium and it stuck me on a wall somewhere. I don't know.
That's right. You wore it well. So what's been new? What have you been up to?
What have I been up to? Man, outside of Alpha Elite Performance, obviously mental health is always the forefront of my life. But did a little stint at the Green Beret Foundation as well as their programs and community relations director. Left there to start Project R3con, which is a nonprofit that provides stem cell therapy to special operations veterans dealing with the effects of TBI.
Yeah.
I was introduced to stem cells years ago after my injuries and fell in love with them and had treated probably around 24 to 25 soft guys out in the Bahamas at a place called Okeanos, but that closed down. And anyway, 5 years later, we're back at it with Project R3con. Yeah.
Excellent. Now we've talked a lot about peptides and alternative modalities on the show with several subject matter experts.
Mm-hmm.
And, you're in that category
Mm-hmm.
as well. The phenomenon of the peptide and how it really works within the body
Mm-hmm.
is fascinating to me. I've had several friends that have sworn by these things.
Mm-hmm.
Dear friend of mine, Boone Cutler, he'd done some peptide work, stem cell work, early in his recovery. Unfortunately, we just lost him not too long ago. But this is magical stuff, right? And there's a lot of science behind it as we continue to learn more of some of the advantages of young placenta stem cells versus like replacing your own stem cells that are cleaned and I don't know the process. I'm not the subject matter expert, but it is fascinating to me how this science is becoming really front forward in the conversation around mental health and physical health in the Special Forces community. And generally, what we have seen over the years is what the Special Forces community leans into becomes accessible for everybody, sooner down the path or down that path. So yeah, I'd love to hear, your response to that.
Yeah. Well, first of all, the peptide thing is pretty phenomenal. It poses some challenges for my other company, Alpha Elite Performance, just because we've got to work around, the lack of sales in certain products. But I'm a peptide user myself, really enjoy them. And the effects that they have on my body. I'm 51 years old and I feel phenomenal.
Yeah.
I
look
do.
Great, man.
Thank you. I do have a doctor that I don't just go at it willy-nilly because a lot of people will end up hurting themselves or doing it the wrong way and wasting a lot of money. So I do have a medical professional that I talk to that, we go through him. A couple of them. One of them being Precision Wellness out of North Carolina and Southern Pines. But stem cells, man, I'll just, the backstory, I'll talk about that. Outside of the deployments and, door charges and eating those and IEDs or whatnot, or just blast exposure, constant shooting that causes all the micro lesions on the head. I had a near fatal free fall accident closer to the end of my career. And you hit your head and you don't really think anything of it at the time. You just want to get yourself physically fit back on the teams because you want to be a soft guy, a door kicker. You don't want to get stuck in the basement of the group headquarters. So physically, I got myself in shape, back on the team, but still noticed something was off, and it just wasn't really working out for me. So they sent me to, of all things, an intel part of 10th Group. It's called the RSE, and I went through that pipeline and made it through. Didn't have to be physically fit for it, but you had to look good in a suit and shake hands and speak Russian is what my language was. So still, it was a little off, and decided that, my time was done. So I retired, dropped my retirement packets. At that point, they stuck me into the basement of 10th Special Forces Group and said, hey, before you leave, can you just rewrite the entire SOP for air operations? You're a big free fall guy, blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh, fuck. Am I allowed to cuss?
Sure.
Sure.
I've got 3 years.
Yeah. So it wasn't working out in my head, but I was really trying, and went and saw some medical professionals, and of course they were trying to tell me I had PTS and all this, and I didn't have PTS in my mind, I have no PTS from anything that I did. I loved my time in service and my deployments, but further investigation, finding out, oh, you've really, rung your bell a few times.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I have. So fast forward to retirement, get involved in stem cells, in another nonprofit, and, we go over to Okeanos in the Bahamas, and I get treated with my own mesenchymal cells, which are harvested from your adipose tissue. So a little bit of liposuction's involved with that. Some people like that, I said, take about 3 Coke cans out, bud. I've been sitting around, gaining some weight, but saw the benefits in that. They weren't great, but felt better.
Yeah.
So started doing it out of my own pocket, and then, was working with the nonprofit, and then ultimately ended up becoming the CEO for that nonprofit, which doesn't exist anymore. They disbanded, but not disbanded. They just shut down. Economy, all that crap.
Yeah.
But really saw the benefits of stem cells in direct injection into joints, plantar fasciitis, brain health, you name it. You've got 102 different cells in your body. Stem cell, a new one, wants to become part of, the team, if you will.
Yeah, right.
So, but then I was introduced to cord blood stem cells, which are harvested from the placental sac and cord. And it's night and day. For me, the feeling was immediate. You could taste it.
Yeah.
When they go into the body, it's an IV push, or it's intranasal. And then there's also what's called exosomes, which are byproduct of stem cells, and they work together synergistically. Exosomes are smaller, can break the brain barrier, get to the brain, but you feel it, and it's noticeable. And the biggest thing that I had, the biggest positive, was that I had a stutter on S's and a shake in my left hand, and occasionally I'll get a twitch, and occasionally I'll get stuck on some words. But I think also I pay attention to my S's, so I like to really make sure they come out, because I'll be like,
Yeah.
But for the most part, it went away, and my wife recognized that and saw that the tremor went away, and then just overall daily function and feeling was phenomenal.
So there's a lot of neurological.
Yeah. There's a lot of neuropathy going on in the brain, but if you can help heal and decrease that inflammation, what stem cells want to do, they get to the brain or any part of the body. They go to that inflammation, and think of it as a little platoon of infantry, and they get to that inflammation, they get to work. And if there's not any work there, they make work.
Yeah.
And they call your body's own mesenchymal cells to come help. And that's where they start replicating. Like, you can take 8 million stem cells, cord blood stem cells, and replicate into 20 billion.
So they're like little Green Berets.
Little Green Berets, a little ODA of 12, and then we've just got our little Jundies, and they just keep replicating, and then we just go fight the bad guys, and we win.
Yeah, that's great.
And that's what the stem cells are doing. And they're great. And everybody, this should be accessible to everybody, to include active duty. And that's my goal. That's my vision with Project R3con. We've already had a couple face-to-face conversations with the Secretary of VA.
Yeah.
He knows us, saw him at SOF Week. Not SOF Week, I'm sorry, SHOT Show in the hallway, and was like, hey, Doug, give me a minute. And he stopped. And I let Anna's the CEO of Project R3con, Anna Richardson. She's wonderful. Brought her over. She came with me from the Green Beret Foundation, along with another Green Beret. I'm not stealing people from the Green Beret Foundation. They know where the good shit is. So. But they came with me, and they're killing it. Yeah. And Anna, was talking a little bit about what we've done, the soldiers that we've helped, and to include an active duty Green Beret before his deployment coming up. And he was very receptive and gave us his card and said, "Hey, we got to talk more about this." So
that's wonderful. Now you're saying that you could taste it as you're getting that IV push. Is that like are you tasting like the iron of clean blood, like ionized?
Well, there's no blood in stem cells. They've been washed, if you will. Of all, there's no blood type to them. Yeah. There's no type and match or cross or anything like that. So they're just stem cells. So the taste is, I guess it's metallic. Yeah. It's almost immediate.
That's incredible.
Yeah, I'll usually do about 6 cc's, so 42 million or so stem cells. Yeah. And you can go well above that if you want.
And as I understand, it's like you talked about it as like a little platoon. They come in, they set up, they find the inflammation, they start bringing in replicants, and then once say they engage that inflammation, they lose half, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. But they kill the inflammation. They'll go and find the next thing in your body until all of those resources are depleted, as I understand.
For the most part, yeah, absolutely. It kind of happens. I mean, if it's a full body IV, they're just, some of them are stopping off here at this injury or this injury, micro lesions here, micro tear there. So that's where direct injection will come into play to really isolate the team, if you will. So if you're going to the shoulder, they'll direct injection into that area. So that they stay there and can help heal the micro tears on the labrum or whatnot. Knees, back. I've had it in my back, my knees. I've got 2 partial knee replacements already on the medial, on the inside. So I've done stem cells on the outside to help that cartilage regrow. I haven't had any knee problems since. Ankle reconstruction, and I had stem cells there as well. Have not had any issues with my ankle. The only place it didn't work for me, but that was 5 surgeries, was on this shoulder, and you just get to a point though where not much is going to happen other than a surgery or replacement, you know? So, but for the most part, full body IV, I feel great. I'm 51 years old. I do it every 6 months, in about 6 cc's and I just get it on with my stem cells. I love them. So yeah. But
now, is this something that you could do in the United States? Yep. How does it work?
Yeah. So a lot of times people, will see things like, I got to go to Panama, or I got to take my watch off. That thing was vibrating. Somebody's at my house. But yes, you can do it in the United States. There are facilities across the nation that are doing this. One of the biggest ones, shout out to them, is Ways to Wells. It's where Joe Rogan goes, Jelly Roll, some athletes. But they do the things that they want to do. I will say there isn't a set protocol yet. A lot of people are doing these IND, IRBs, which we're doing at Project R3con for the brain. There isn't a set protocol, so you're going to get what they think works. Yeah. But for the most part, the reviews from their patients or they're coming back like, yeah, it worked. I love that. So
yeah. Are you working with any research colleges right now on the data?
No colleges. Our doctor, Dr. Jason Chiriano, he's out of California. He's been in the industry for a long time. Very smart man. He's our medical director of Project R3con, and he is collecting the data and is going to write the IND IRB. Yeah. We do, the stem cells that we do use come from the United States, from American citizens, and have an IND, and they're FDA authorized. You can't say approved. It's only authorized. So they're FDA authorized stem cells made in obviously a CMGP, regulated facility, all that stuff. But yeah, we are collecting the data. He's writing it up. We are in talks with other folks as far as it seems like when people hear what we are doing, there's no protocol. So everybody's got a protocol. Well, we want to do it this way. We want to do it this way. Yeah. I'm really pushing to do it the way that worked for me. And that is to do the stem cells. And then we're adding exosomes as well intranasally, because those are small enough that they will break the brain barrier. But, just from Dr. Chiriano's experience, he's seen wonderful results with just stem cells via IV for guys who have moderate to severe TBI. And that is the guys that we're working with, guys and gals, is moderate to severe. Everybody has a mild.
Sure. Yeah.
Most probably have a moderate, but we do have a protocol of of what we're looking for, because everybody's coming to us like, hey, I got a TBI.
Yeah.
Well, we need proof. We need an MRI. We need a diagnosis. We need all this stuff.
Yeah.
So, but really the goal is just full body health. I hope to be able to do direct injections on some of these guys that really need stem cells for healing, because there's a lot of them out there.
Oh, yeah.
But then get into the active duty community too. If I could sit down with Pete and I don't know, those guys, they were so much easier to talk to before they got in the government. Now they don't want to talk to you.
It's funny how that works.
But yeah, stem cells are where it's at, and I'm excited about it.
We talk a lot about inflammation at the foundation, the Gwen South Foundation, right? We understand, there's a lot of data and science and years worth of medical history that really shows that if you are putting a lot of attention into inflammation, like you're reducing most of the onset of problems that occur downstream, pain, addiction, unaliving yourself, things of that nature. We one of the things that we work a lot on, and we are big advocates for, is the hyperbaric oxygen chamber therapy.
Wonderful with stem cells,
right? And that's what I'm asking. Is like those are two really sound sciences right now that are impacting inflammation. Combine those together. Was that like super? Super juice?
Well, just think of an oxygen enriched body,
right?
Oxygenated blood, all that. Yeah, that they just get together, and the stem cells they thrive in that. Far more so than without HBOT. But a lot of people aren't doing the HBOT prior to. We would like for them to. So if there are organizations that pay for that, hopefully, here's another dream of mine, is that I'm going to build a Project R3con facility, and we'll have some HBOT there, and we'll be able to treat people. So if anybody wants to help me fund that building, call me. But yeah, that's the big goal. But HBOT and stem cells, absolutely 100%. Like coffee in a cup, as Neil McCoy said in his song, whatever song that was.
Yeah, I mean, and then think about oh man, my brain could go down this wonderful road of you're putting a really integrated inflammation protocol together, right? Yeah. Through stem cell, hyperbaric chamber, maybe some mushrooms or some ayahuasca, and maybe some other very specific modalities behind that. I mean, you could really build out and encapsulate pure, unadulterated, oxygenized healing. Right? That crosses, the most important part, crosses the blood-brain barrier and gets into neuro regeneration, plasticity, and really having big impacts on the brain. Because that's over and over and over, through all the studies that we've seen, and I'm sure the things that you guys are coming across, is that it's head injuries that are driving a lot of the problem, and it's inflammation of the brain that is going on that we might not even have any evidence in our own faculty, right? Other than my head hurts, or I got constant headaches, or bad attitude, things like that, right?
No, I mean, like I said earlier, we all have had some sort of concussion, not necessarily like TBI, but a concussion. I don't know, it might be the same, but I look at some as smaller, and you can rebound back from. But HBOT, stem cells, mushrooms, that medicine. I mean, I'm a psilocybin fan. And usually do it daily, a small microdose. And I love the feeling that I have, or have had, from the combination of all of that. If you've ever seen a comparison of a brain without psilocybin and with it, and the connection that happens with it, you're not tripping. A lot of people are like, oh, it's drugs. You're not tripping on a microdose of psilocybin. Right. I feel phenomenal. I'm happy. I'm in a better mood. I notice that I don't do dumb things like, I'm a nail biter, but when I do psilocybin on the regs, I'm not biting my nails. I'm more focused when I work out. I feel better. I'm sleeping better. So that whole combination of all of that is healing for the body, and what I'd like to tell people is that it's natural. We're not pushing shit in our bodies that the government has given us, or making somebody else rich. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, that's one of the big problems I have with big pharma and a lot of these conversations when we talk about health and circumstances within our community, the veteran community, combat side, is that it's always around medicine. Like here's take this, take that, and the next thing you know, you're on 6 other drugs because that drug gives you IBS, and now this drug's going to help with the constant all that stuff. Right? And then the person's like down this path, and they don't know what to do any longer. Like now I can't get off this shit because there's so much of it. And largely it's because they don't have access, or they don't have the access to information of this stuff, of stem cells.
Well, they have
peptides.
access. They can Google it.
Yeah,
it's all over the internet.
It's the...
But you don't always believe what you see on the internet is what they're told. So
yeah, true.
It's good to hear it from people like us who are experiencing it and helping people with it.
Right. I think that's where I was going, is the conversation is now in a different place, that it's more accessible of people sharing their experiences because of the way that we communicate now through devices and social media. That 10 years ago, stem cell, I remember people talking about it, and I was like, oh, sounds new age stuff, man.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, well, Big Pharma back then didn't like it because, oh God, it's going to take away from the medications that we can put into people's body.
Yeah.
Or orthopedic surgeons are like, no, I don't want to. I want to cut on that dude right now. I don't want him to regenerate some cartilage.
Right.
Well, buddy, jump on board. You can make money selling stem cells to your patients, and then
Right. Do you think this is something that the veterans VHA would bring into their toolkit?
I would hope so, because it's inexpensive.
Yeah.
And I've got a whole plan worked out. And I even told the Secretary of the VA on how this could happen. And I'll say it right now, and I'll probably piss off some people, but a lot of the hospitals will take the placental sac and cord and toss it as waste.
Yeah.
You don't need that. We're just going to toss it unless you want to dry it out and make capsules and, whatever some people do with that. To each their own. It's natural. Maybe I'd try it. But they sell it. To the tune of around $30,000 or so to companies that will then harvest the stem cells and then sell them. We have all these military hospitals across the nation that, in labor and delivery rooms, and to be able to take those placental sacs and then harvest the stem cells, it's relatively inexpensive to do. And then if we can get to the point of injury, of guys downrange or even on base of a traumatic brain injury, to inject stem cells into the body at the point of injury, when it happens, the chances of the healing of that microlesion or that tear on the brain is greater than without, right? And years down the road, like I had to do, and I've spent a lot of my own money helping myself and others.
And I would think that this would be an easy adoption by special forces, right? Because in some of the teams, as correct me if I'm wrong, but I've heard of stories like they got personal trainers and a lot of these different things like that are you wouldn't have access to if you were just regular conventional forces.
No, we were treated a lot different. I mean, I've had dry needling done with all these physical therapists, and the facilities that we have are beautiful, and cold baths and cold massive walk-in tubs and stuff now. But they are. We are aligned with the SOCOM Care Coalition. Yeah. So any active duty soldier that's special operations that wants to have stem cell therapy done for TBI or direct injection, they have to go through the SOCOM Care Coalition, and then they push it out to the nonprofits that facilitate that.
There we go.
Yeah. So. So we've already treated one active duty guy who came to us through the SOCOM Care Coalition. He had a TBI, and he knew that he had another deployment coming up, so we were able to take care of him, and I've already received his 30-day post-treatment write-up with good positive reviews. He's more clarity. He's feeling a lot better, more energy than he did when he had the injury. So, no, they're on board. But to your point too, they gave us all those drugs and all that stuff, or even as veterans, well, we were kind of conditioned and programmed to just accept that, because in active duty, it was like, stand in line, get this shot. I would go to like Africa, to places of Africa that people have never been, and like, hey, you need these shots. Well, how do you know? It saved my life. But then all the malaria pills and all that stuff that you're popping and taking before you go. It's you just tell these guys that you need these pills for your IBS and your bloody noses and I don't know. But then all those pills, just if you ever listen to a commercial, it's like, you may experience death.
Right. There was a guy that I mentored for a while. he'd come to us and he's like, man, Tim, got some issues going on. I'm like, oh, what's going on, buddy? And he's like, I think I'm being told I got alopecia. I'm like, well, you're a young guy. And he's like, yeah, I don't believe it. I just don't understand this. I'm like, man, like, what'd you do in the Marine Corps? And he tells his job and stuff like that. I'm like, you should probably go get a lead test, man.
Yeah.
And, just see what kind of heavy metals are in your body.
Yep.
Sure as shit, comes back, lead test off the fucking charts. And he's losing his hair because he's got lead poisoning.
Yeah.
Right. It's like, man, guys, like, I think, we have to do a better job of catching those things.
Yeah.
Right. And, because it is, we do a different job than your average American, right?
Yeah.
Your average American is not around combustible carbon and, explosions and this, that, and the other. I'm like, we haven't seen that shit since the smelting of iron in the 20s, right? Those days are over.
Yeah. Lead levels are huge though. And we all have them. That's why, like at Alpha Lead Performance, my business, we have a heavy metals detox greens that is approved for use by the Special Warfare Center in schools. And you can look on there, the pre and the post, and the lead levels and the antimony, both of those significantly decreased with just using this greens drink. Started that because my lead levels when I got out were extremely high. And that's a drink that I drink continuously. I might live till I'm 200. I don't know.
I've had your greens. The greens are good.
Thanks. But yeah, that's important. And then there's that misdiagnosis. You got alopecia, bro. Just deal with it and take this, and maybe it'll.
Yeah, right. We're going to give you like a lifetime worth of prescription that we didn't really do any follow up on, or get down deep into.
Yeah,
and that's a primarily like the challenge that a lot of people have when they go to, for example, their PCP, their primary care provider.
Yeah.
Right, is like you got 30 minutes with your PCP to tell them all your problems and for them to make a diagnosis. The chance of you being articulate enough to your doctor to explain all of those things in that short period of time, probably 80%.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And, 90% of the time you're going to leave with a prescription. And that prescription is going to lead to some other thing that either adds value to your life or adds another, or not bad, adds value, adds another complication to your life.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you're going to have to get another pill to counter that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. And that's just the way it goes.
Mm-hmm.
But there are, what I love about these conversations and, people like you that are just saying like, I refuse that. Like there's better ways. And here it is. Like there are over 7 million, if I understand the numbers right, 7 million births a year or a day or something crap like that.
Yeah.
Like we don't, those placentas and things of that nature are not being utilized, and they are a force multiplier.
Yeah, absolutely.
In many ways.
Yeah.
So there are solutions out there.
There are. And a lot of people within the active duty military higher up that I've had conversations with, from West Point medical personnel to SOCOM to at the Pentagon in the VA and so on. They're all on board, but it's just,
bureaucrat.
They can't talk about it. Like, oh my God, I want to help you so bad, or I want to come support you with this, but I can't. People are afraid of somebody or something.
Yeah.
And
let me ask you a question. Like, you're in the VA system. You see a lot of things that are happening. I have a theory that there's an unholy relationship between the American Psychiatric Association and the Office of Mental Health and Welfare, Suicide Prevention, because I can cite, as you can as well, down the length of your arm of individuals that have gone in for a 30-minute sit down, 15 minutes really in the VA system. And then are leaving with some sort of SSRI or psychotropic prescription, rather than a conversation of like, hey, are you working out? Because that can offset your mental health significantly. Not that question's not being asked. It is CSM. Oh, hey, or DSM-5. You are a candidate for Seroquel.
Yeah,
let's get you lined up and see you back here in 2 weeks, right? And next thing you know, you're 6 months later, and you're like, why am I still on this medicine?
Yeah.
Why is my life continuing to fall apart?
Right.
And things are going sideways. When we could have just looked at it a different way.
Yeah.
right? And said, hey, let's get you on a workout regimen. Let's see where your pain and if you have pain and inflammation in your body that could be affecting your mental awareness and your mental faculties right now. Because when you are in a lot of pain, you make different decisions.
Sure do. Yeah.
Right.
Or no decisions at all.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Apathy sets in, all
Yeah.
sorts of different things.
Yeah.
Right. And then you're adding that on top of all the other challenges that the veteran is going through. Right. And I'm using the veteran just because of the audience here, but like this is a circumstance for everybody, right? Everybody's experiencing inflammation, right? From activities, to things that they eat, the inactivity of doing things. Those are all big drivers of inflammation, and science is and the medical field is showing over and over and over again it's these inflammations that are causing the most problems.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I never really thought of it like that, but now that I sit here and I mean, so many things are running through my head, but yeah, I'm sure there's some sort of handshake between the companies that are mass producing those pills and the VA, and look, let's again, active duty. Throw it on the active duty personnel. They have to take it.
Yeah.
If they don't, we'll kick them out or whatever, give them Article 15. But yes, I 100% agree with you on the conversations need to be had about health and fitness and wellness, because that's what I've been doing since I retired was telling people, go fucking work out.
Yeah, I mean, I watch your social media, man. Like that's all you do.
Yeah,
right? Amongst a lot of other things.
Right. Yeah, but you will feel better 1,000 times. That time that, and I know somebody's going to hear this. That time that you said, well, I got to work out today, but I don't want to. I don't want to do it. But then by the time you're done, you're like, fucking feel great.
Yep.
I mean, your serotonin, everything's just skyrocketing in your brain right now, and you feel wonderful, and you're not going to feel, negative about anything. And health and fitness is healing.
Yeah.
A lot of the westernized medicine, which I'm a fan of, I was a medic, and went to school for exercise science, all this stuff. I'm a fan of Western medicine. Some people need that stuff. Not everybody does.
Correct.
Most do not. They can be healed with working out, natural medicines that are out there, or just no medicines at all. Get off the shit and see how your body reacts.
Right.
Sometimes it just course corrects.
Right. Change your fucking diet. Stop eating the cheeseburgers.
Exactly. Yes. That's a huge one right there with all the shit that's in our food. But also look at the people that, you don't see a lot of the leadership. Robert Kennedy, super fit.
Yep.
Does stem cells.
Yep.
All sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
Let's look at
I just saw Hegseth throw 315.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Let's look at Pete.
Right.
Cash Patel. Look at all this leadership that they're physically fit. I guarantee you they are not putting any pills in their body.
Right.
You know what I mean? And we know that, the Honorable Mr. Kennedy is 100% pushing for, a lot of the natural substances that'll help heal. Yeah, absolutely. I hope to meet the dude, shake his hand, and get him on board with Project R3con. It's mind-boggling. It's upsetting. How are you going to win? I mean, the government's the government, all we can do is just stand out here and piss off a lot of people with what we're saying, because I will tell the government that I'm fucking right.
Yeah.
And I know that you're wrong because I experienced your shit for 21 years. Loved it. Loved my time in service.
Right.
But
don't piss down my back and tell me it's raining.
Yeah, exactly. Right. I mean, those days are over. You telling me what, is right and what's wrong, and me just having to take it. I'm going to tell you what I know works for me and has worked for so many other people. My buddy Chad Hamner, retired CW3, saw him last summer. I was like, buddy, we got to get this shit fixed, And he did. He turned it around, and he's lost a considerable amount of weight. He looks wonderful, and he feels great. Just sent a post, made a post the other day. And he took it upon himself to turn that shit around. And there's so many that haven't, and they're gone. I know 3 Green Berets three that had a heart attack or a stroke in the last 4 months. Personally knew them, studs in their day, and just came to a screeching halt. And usually when you come to a screeching halt, your body comes to a screeching halt and just says, okay, well, if you're done, I'm done. You got to keep moving. That's the big key too, is to keep moving when you retire or get out. An object in motion tends to stay in motion. Object at rest tends to stay at rest. But then I've had 3 recently unalive themselves. I didn't know them, but they're just coming across the wire, and it's like, why?
Yeah.
What's happening in their world within active duty or immediately after? I mean, that's just another conversation in itself that I think we're going to have forever. Because I will tell you that soft guys, for the most part, when they determine that they're going to, do it, they're going to do it.
Yeah.
And I think that could go either direction: fix it, or
and it's such an important conversation today. When we have so many people that are taking their lives for many different reasons, right? We have so many people that are unhealthy. Right. Amongst our own community, right? That right now we need those people, right? If you listen, guys, take a look outside the window, right? The world needs leaders.
Yeah.
America needs leaders at the local, at the regional, national, federal level. And, I think the veteran community, the combat veteran community has showed that in spades. But right now we're not healthy. We're not healthy mentally. We're not healthy physically. We're definitely not in the game. And we're watching our country kind of spin on its side. At least that's my one man's opinion. And that could all change incredibly if we were to just say our work is not over yet. Just because we are not in uniform any longer doesn't mean that we can't be leaders. And lead at the local level or wherever that opportunity arises. But we have to get ourselves back into a state of operational conditions, right? Sound body, sound mind. Sound spirit. With those three things, we can step back into the fight, and we can step back into being a leader for the people that look up to us. Because, you might be listening and saying, Tim, man, I put on 200 pounds since I've been out, and I was an NCO in the Marine Corps, and blah 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 blah. I could be that, but I don't have what it takes to get up off my ass and get it going. Well, hopefully, a conversation like this, listening to a man like you saying, here's what you need to take that first step, pal.
Yeah. Well, back when I was way back in the 1900s, PT almost felt like discipline.
Yeah.
There wasn't an educational piece that really came with it. They tried, but they didn't. They failed. The military fails in that. They're just like, get out there, do your push-ups, sit-ups, and run 2 miles.
Right.
And it felt like a punishment every day. And there should have been, and there should be now, more education in why they're doing PT. But also, I'm a firm believer not doing PT first thing in the morning, because that puts stressors on the body far greater than they would later on in the afternoon when somebody's body has had the opportunity to warm up, mentally, physically, all that. I work out in the afternoon and do far better then than I do in the morning. But granted, it's the military time of the day, but there needs to be an educational piece with physical fitness that carries over into retirement. I notice people that are physically fit have also a better, healthy lifestyle at home and home life with the families. So it heals so many different things, not just your own well-being and physical being, but it also heals the family. And that's what we're kind of doing at Project R3con too, is that we're not just trying to heal the guy, gal, the brain, but we're trying to, it helps to heal the family if this individual is, working on and firing on all cylinders.
Yeah.
But physical fitness though is key to all of this before even we're not going to help somebody at Project R3con who isn't physically fit as well. Cause your body you're just full of inflammation if you're 200 pounds overweight or more. You got to be there. We want this to work. We don't want to waste the money that our donors are giving us if you're not physically fit. You're also not going to drink alcohol before or after for quite a while, because alcohol will kill stem cells.
Oh yeah.
But I think that the military fails a lot. They do a great job with their leadership at the academies.
Sure.
They get a lot of education in physical fitness outside of just doing it, but why aren't they bringing it to, their platoon level when they get out there?
Yeah, I just came across this past weekend. I did a community emergency response training event.
Nice.
For the Going South Foundation, and we're in partner with the VFW, and a couple of VFW members were there. There was a gentleman sharing with me, his road of health, physical and mental, right?
Yeah.
And he was sharing that he was 150 pounds overweight this time last year, and he had gone into a complete animal style or carnivore diet, only eating things that are from animals.
Yeah.
And he's lost all this weight, and now he's relaying how much that has been an improvement for his mental health, right? That he can actually achieve things that he's setting up for himself throughout the day because he's mobile and he's able to do it, and he's got clarity of focus, not a foggy mind that's full of just saturated fats and things like that to just have an overwhelming effect on people. So it's cool to come across these people that are on that path, right?
Yeah.
And they listen to programs like these and are being inspired by men like you and others that are enlightening them to new ideas, new ways of achieving the objective, right? And that's a higher state of well-being.
Yeah.
Because I think that it's not intrinsic to just the military community. I think we're all looking for something like that, right? As we're going through, life. Maybe not so much in your 20s and 30s are you recognize it, but when 40s come along, you're like, oh man, my kidney hurts a lot.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Maybe I should drink more fiber or some shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, these are big questions, big subjects. The work that you're doing is impacting a lot of people. So where do you go from here? Like what's the you're wanting to get this into the active duty side. What challenges are in front of you of achieving that?
Well, I mean, quite a few. Just even getting an audience, is difficult.
Yeah, you're mentioning with Pete or the Hexeth getting court is difficult.
Yeah, absolutely. But first and foremost, where we go from here, we are actively fundraising for Project R3con. I mean, I have a staff that I have to pay of two. Yeah. It's really like 3 or 4 of us, so but 2 that we pay, but also it costs on average around $11,500 per individual to treat them with stem cells. That's the office visit, travel, stem cells, the tubing, everything. It costs. Yeah. But that's extremely reduced cost for us for what we're doing. So we're actively, getting donations, and we're doing pretty good. We've just got one from, Black Rifle Coffee donated $25,000. We got another $20,000.
SHOT Show.
Yep, yeah, SHOT Show. We had a big check presentation there. We had $100,000. I've personally dumped in $15,000 of my own money into it at the moment, and then we've got some more that are coming in as well. We've got an event coming up in California at I can't say where, but at a house of a gentleman who's gonna do some fundraising for us. But the challenges are the fundraising for the most part. A lot of times the government sees, and we can't even get the government money unless we're raising money. Yeah. Because they want to see that you're, not full of shit and that you're really doing good things. And I sensed that in talking to people, at the VA and in other organizations that, we want to help you, but let's see what you're really.
What's your bona fides?
Yeah. Let's look at your 990 at the end of the year and then we'll talk. Which I have been in the philanthropic nonprofit space for quite a while now, 8 years or so or more. Anna and Jess have both been in it. We've got maybe 30 plus years, between the 3 of us of doing nonprofit space or nonprofit work. So there isn't anything nefarious that we're trying to do other than help people, raise money. I don't even pay myself. I pay money out of my own pocket to make sure that this happens. Yeah. So that's a challenge in itself that you can't even ask, because there's the Beacon Act that's out there, and it's for mental health. It's $85 million. I think it's Senator Bergman is his name, or Congressman Bergman, and one other Democratic. It's a bipartisan effort. Bergman, I can't remember the other person, but there's $85 million set aside for stuff that we're doing. We had a conversation with a kid in his office. I think he's like 20 years old, and he really didn't sound like he was interested at all. So I'm gonna go to DC and pound on doors. Yeah.
It's fascinating to me. Like I think about the $500 million every year that's allocated for the veteran, unaliving. Right. The budget that is coordinated through the VHA. And I don't know, man, like trying to get a grant for some of these things is damn near impossible. Yeah. And what chaps my ass about it, Doug, is that, you see on the news and it's being reported, and I'm sure there's some hyperbole all attached to this, but there are NGOs out there that are getting millions of our dollars every year that is going to things that have nothing to do with what they're getting those grants for.
Yeah.
And then there's organizations like yours, like mine, and many others out there that are grinding out every day just trying to make an impact, and they can't get a look, not even a red cent thrown in their direction that could possibly change the outcome of a male or female's life, that gave a considerable amount of their time, health, and other things towards our country.
Yeah,
like that fucking pisses me off.
Yeah, no,
we sit in that we have to go like. Say this as much as you do. Like these are challenges that we go up against every day when we're trying to, get in with any type of these grants. It's you have to the book to fill it out. It's like that thick, man.
Yeah. No, it is. It is, man. It's frustrating as hell.
It's discouraging.
It is discouraging, but there are small victories in it that keep us going.
Yeah.
That's what. 'Cause I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I sit there and I'm just like, I am fed up with the veteran community and trying to help it anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And most of it comes from the lack of support.
Yeah.
We get inundated with requests.
Yeah.
Every military nonprofit that supports our veterans gets inundated with requests. And then those guys are like, well, why aren't you helping me? Well, there's just not enough funds. We've got all these, when I was at the Green Beret Foundation, it was the same thing. Like, well, you're not helping me. Well, we've only got $300,000 allocated for, medical devices, treatments, therapies, and things. And we have to break it up into different modalities.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. People don't understand that we're not just this endless pot of money.
Yeah.
And we're working our butts off to get it. And then you have to pay people a competitive wage to even keep them there to do this.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but on the flip side of that, the VA, places like that are like, hey, we love you nonprofits, and we know that these guys, and we rely on you to support our veterans, but yet they don't want to give us the coin that they will give to a daycare in Minnesota,
right?
And so
$500 million every year.
Yeah.
Let me tell you this.
Yeah.
I asked this of a lot of people. In one of those line items of the budget is a line item for veteran homelessness. Great, fantastic. 40,000 veterans is supposed to help every year. It gets funded $50 million. $50 million.
Yeah.
If I gave you $50 million, Travis, would you solve veteran homelessness?
Damn near.
You damn near would solve it.
Yeah.
Right? It's ridiculous to think that it gets put into the same pot over and over and over again. We don't have receipts of how that's actually being used, like everything else that's in that $500 million.
Don't ask.
Don't ask.
Yeah.
Don't critique it.
Yeah.
Because then you're not going to get access to the people that could make you some change.
Yeah.
And then we're going to put out a report that reports 2 years in the past that shows that the unaliving is not going down.
Yeah.
That it's actually increasing.
Yeah.
Across all demographics. Like this is madness to me. Like programs like yours exist that can make immediate impacts. There's a line of people that are lining up that this could help, and you're going to have to go through so much pain and effort to get looked at, to be thought of for a grant. If you apply for the Fox or any other grants that come out of the VHA.
Right. Yeah.
Like that's absurd.
Yeah.
That's absurd.
Yeah.
And then you might be lucky that maybe somebody over at the Wounded Warrior Project that they like your program enough that it gets included into their multi-billion or $1 million budgeting that they spend. And so that's the nature of the land.
It is. I will say I've worked with the Wounded Warrior Project. The GBF gets a $300,000 grant from them, and the individuals that work there, 100% are all about helping veterans but if they were to know a lot of the truth that's going on and dug a little deeper, they'd probably be just as pissed off as you and I are as well. And join this conversation. But they are
not tagging organizations, processes and principles. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, it's again, I'll say it, like I have been to a point where I'm just done and just want to go buy my 40 acres and a mule and and just live there until I'm done. Watch the sunset in Texas. But I also love doing it. It's become a part of who I am. I didn't mean for it to be. I went to one conversation about transition, and how were you so successful at transitioning out of the military? And I had a plan, and I enacted that plan before I got out.
Yeah.
And so that spiraled into other things, and then the nonprofit world, and now here I am. So there was a reason why that happened, and I'm here for it. It was a calling, and I enjoy it. Sometimes it's a little upsetting, but so is also running a for-profit company, in a supplement nutrition company, having to fight against peptides, which I also use peptides. So it's like I'm defeating myself, but also, so it's just course correction, and we're gonna course correct all of it. And Project R3con is going to be phenomenal. I mean, it already is. It's super exciting to be able to, and it's brain health. Yeah. So if there's any of you doctors out there, we're looking for anybody really, $1,000 a month for 12 months. Support us, projectrecon.org.
There you go. There you go. And you do a lot of other things beyond.
I do. Yeah.
Hog hunting from helicopters.
Yeah, I do have Alpha Elite Performance Outdoors. Yeah, we take veterans on adrenaline outdoor adventures. So Cabo Sport Fishing is coming up in June. We do heli hog hunting. Took one of those.
Was that in Mexico?
Yeah.
Is there going to be problems with the cartels?
I mean, so far we haven't paid for anything yet, but I don't know. Spring break's coming up first.
Oh, boy.
So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. It's about to get spicy.
Yeah, right. I do have a buddy that's down there right now. I checked in on him, and he's like, what do y'all, they're below, what's going on?
What's going on?
And he's down there where it's all happening. He's like, yeah, I see smoke, but I think I'm good. I'm over. So he's like, yeah, tell him to come to my house.
Right.
But yeah, no, I enjoy it. It's fun.
Yeah, man, you've been a big part of the community over the years, and people a bit of an influencer. Look at you, a bit of an influencer in a lot of ways. Cortez Riggs. Cortez. Yeah. Anyway, out at Mick. He always said that, like, being an influencer, his military influencer conference, he always said that being an influencer has to do with leadership. That's right.
And so when people say, "Hey, Trav, you're an influencer now," no, I don't want to be an influencer at all. I want to be a leader.
Yeah.
I'm a bit of an influencer, but I want to be a bit of a leader in making this happen. So.
I say it all the time, man. Our community in the veteran side needs leaders, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And you're definitely one of them. You're inspiring a lot of other people to step up. I think one of the coolest things that where I'm at in my career, it's almost 15 years into doing this, is coming across people out in the wild that like, hey, Tim, like, your story inspired me to do this, or I started my own little business and I was able to walk away from my corporate America job and I'm doing this now. Like, those are really cool stories. Like, those are really, like, it makes you sit back like, man, all the grind is actually worth it when you hear something like that, because that's why I think is certainly now more than ever with the accessibility of all things, right? Is that if you're a veteran out there that has an idea, there's nothing stopping you from bringing that to life other than you at this point, right? So you and risk, right? And your appetite for it. And, I would say, is, Travis would, I'm sure that if you go out there and you manage your risks appropriately, like all things, it's something new, and it's going to be exciting. You're going to win, you're going to fail. Probably fail more than you're going to win. But it's how you apply those failures that really get you going. Because here's one thing I don't ever want to do again is I don't want to ever have to work for somebody else.
Agreed.
And I like being in a position that a crazy idea can impact a lot of people in a very great way. And I'm willing to take those paths. For the excitement.
Absolutely. So yeah.
Well, brother, you have an event coming up April 11th in Montgomery, Texas.
I do, yeah.
Is that something that would be open for people that are listening?
Absolutely. They can go to aepoutdoors.com and you can sign up virtually. You'll get a cool T-shirt. I don't know if anybody. That's the T-shirt design right there. That it's a skull of a deer with night vision goggles. Yeah, so so you'll get a t-shirt and you can participate virtually. It's a 5K ruck, easy, short 5K ruck. If you're local to Montgomery or you drive in from Montgomery, a lot of people do, you can stay at the Margaritaville Hotel that's there on Lake Conroe. But it's about community and just getting everybody together. We spend a few hours fellowship, socializing. We do our 5K ruck march. There's a couple stops for ab and glute appreciation.
Oh, nice.
I want everybody to walk away with a pump in their abs and their butt.
Yeah.
And then
little gluteus work.
Yeah, little gluteus maximus work. And then and then everybody have the opportunity to make fun of my legs because I'm a giant man. But ever since I had partial knee replacement, my quads have shrunk. So it is. You skipped leg day. I'm like, no, I didn't. they atrophied. No, but it's a lot of fun, and we'll have live entertainment. I asked Neil McCoy to come, and he just ignored my text message. But
oh boy,
no, he never does. Maybe he didn't get it. I'm going to resend it, Neil.
Resend it.
But no, we'll have live entertainment and a good time, food and drinks and all that good stuff. So come join us if you want. AEPOutdoors.com. And then if you want to support Project R3con, it's projectrecon.org.
There you go.
So, yeah.
A lot of ways of getting involved. Travis, as always, we appreciate all the work that you do, all the outlets and education you're bringing to our community, and these modalities.
Yeah,
it's important work. If this is something that you connect with at home, or somebody that would connect with the information here, share it. Tag all those peoples, because this is great stuff. Travis is doing great work. Incredible team that he has put together around Project R3con. So it is certainly worth your while and worth a little bit of effort to share that around. So with that being said, as always, you know what to do, guys. Be kind to one another. Wash those stinking hands, and we'll see you again soon. Travis, any parting words?
No, thanks for having me. If you do go to projectrecon.org, it's R3con. There's a reason why there's a 3. It's regenerative, recover, reintegrate.
Color coded.
Color coded, yeah. But no, man, thanks a lot. This is great, and it's. I hope to do it again a couple years from now. Again, I don't know.
Yeah, as long as you can keep continuing to bring new things to market, we'll keep having you.
All right,
man.
Excellent, man.
Right on. All right, guys, we'll see you soon. It's another American Grit. Ciao.